Afternoon. So we're going to be going over the root beer supply chain simulation. We're going to be talking about some challenges, perspective, and then overcoming challenges within supply chains. So overview of the simulation, right? It's multi-stage supply chain with retailer, wholesaler, distributor, manufacturer. Orders flow upstream, inventory flows downstream, and then the goal is to balance service levels and inventory costs. So the core challenge for me was trying to minimize on-hand inventory too early, underestimation of demand variability, and then I forgot and / ignored the delayed replenishment timing, caused some issues throughout the duration of the simulation. So the 4-week lead time, I forgot that was a thing throughout the simulation. And then I made decisions based on that, a little bit preemptively, and the decisions I made the first couple weeks impacted inventory a month later. It creates a disconnect between demand signals and supply response. Issue was my memory, causing me to preemptively try to minimize the stock. So with trying to minimize the stock too early, stockouts occur quickly. Back orders accumulated rather fast, and then I started to try to order larger supplies in order to offset the back orders. Was not accounting for the last 9 weeks or so of the simulation where there was no orders being placed, which led to overcorrection at the back half of the simulation. And this ties into the bullwhip effect, right? So small demand changes apply or amplify upstream, overreaction to shortages, like myself, whenever I noticed there was a backlog throughout the simulation. And then it led to excess inventory and inefficiency later on in the simulation. So some of the behavioral causes within this was a little overconfidence with demand forecasts, relatively structured demand forecast outlined in the overview. The variability within the actual simulation was quite drastic. And then lack of visibility across the supply chain. I did not know what was going on with the other members of the supply chain. And then with this simulation, it was encouraged that different managers don't talk to each other. So poor communication between the stages led to issues throughout that as well. So some of the key insights is inventory is not just cost, it's a buffer against uncertainty. Trying to reduce inventory too early led to a lot of issues later on in the simulation for myself. And it increased the risk, which led to a major increase in the cost throughout the duration of the simulation. So some strategies to overcome challenges, account for lead times better than I did during the simulation whenever making decisions, maintain a safety stock buffer, which is what they appear to be doing at the beginning of the simulation, and then use consistent ordering across the multiple weeks, and then try to avoid reacting to short-term fluctuations throughout the supply chain. So, and then improving decision making, right? Forecast using moving averages will help make better decisions throughout the simulation and throughout the supply chain. Trying to incorporate pipeline inventory into decisions will help throughout simulation as well, and then focus on total system performance, not individual stages, which is we were only shown individual stages for this, so it made it a little hard to do. And then coordination across the supply chain is going to help mitigate these challenges as well. It's going to sharing demand information, align incentives across stages, and then reduce information distortion. This is going to allow every stage in the supply chain to make accurate decisions and prevent any issues as you move through the fluctuations. So some of the lessons learned throughout simulation was timing matters as much as quantity, and then lead times create hidden risk that are hard to overcome if you fail to pay attention to them. And then overall stability is going to be more beneficial than overreaction. So in conclusion, successful supply chain management requires a lot of patience, a lot of visibility, and coordination amongst the members of the supply chain. And then balancing inventory and responsiveness is going to be key to avoid costly swings within the different supply chain. That's all I have. Thank you.